Hello everybody, and welcome to Fresh Off the Field, presented to you by WTK's Rock Solid Sports. I got my guy Joseph Bonanno here with me tonight. I'm your host Jack Foster, and we are recapping Tennessee's 38-33 win over Florida. The Vols get it done against arguably their biggest rival. Big program win that Hendon Hooker led the way.
Yeah, he was
He's the MVP.
He was Tennessee's offense. 112 rushing yards, 349 pass yards, 3 combined touchdowns from Hendon Hooker. What more can you ask for from your quarterback in a rivalry game?
Absolutely. 461 total yards for Hendo Cinco. That is a career high in total yardage on offense for Hendon in orange and white. So a big performance from him. And, you look back to that final drive of the first half. 99 yards, the catch from Ramel Keaton, the run from Hendon Hooker. They just put it all together in that series.
When you get to that point in the game and, a lot of defense, the offense kind of sputtering out on both sides at times, you need something to change the momentum. And there was something that changed the momentum, and that was that drive. First off, you mentioned the big catch by Ramel Keaton, laid out fingertip.
Heck of a catch.
And then all of a sudden, you're down inside the 5-yard line, and then you have all this stuff going on with the officials. And, for Hendon Hooker and that Tennessee offense to keep their poise, drive 99 yards, you feel like you just got put against the wall with the great punt from Florida.
Right.
To come out there and do that and then double dip there out of the second half, biggest moment in the game.
Absolutely, yeah. That 14-point swing really sent Tennessee over the edge here tonight. I believe they took, a 38-21 lead after those 2 touchdowns?
Yeah, 38-21 lead.
And they just kind of coasted on that.
Yeah.
Florida had the 2 touchdowns late. They actually provided a little bit of a scare, getting the onside kick. That was just a miscue on special teams there for Tennessee, but they were able to hold on. Cabal hadn't got the interception there at the end of the game. And, just looking at this Tennessee win and looking at Hendon Hooker's performance, one more thing about that is it seems he got a little banged up at the end of the first half.
Yeah.
He got on his fumble, he got hit really hard, seemed on his non-throwing shoulder that was bothering him. He was dropping it low every time he was making throws, but he stuck with it, and he displayed a lot of toughness tonight.
Oh, yeah, I don't think it really mattered. I mean, there was a 44-yard run there in the second half. He was
when
about
he came
to
out,
get
when
sacked.
he came out at halftime, he looked like it wasn't bothering him as much.
Yeah.
But just that drive at the end, he did that hurt.
Yeah. I mean, that one play, because I'm going to highlight it because I think it was probably one of the best plays of the second half. About to get sacked. Somehow, magician escapes the pocket, finds a blocker, pushes him into a Florida defender, jukes out another guy, sprints down the sideline for 44 yards, and he put the Vols within scoring range. Do you know what they ended up doing? They ended up scoring anyways. I think that was to put them up 31 to 21 at that point. But huge play. Hendon Hooker, you can't say enough how much this team, or how much he means to this team, and how much this team means to him. I mean, he shows it out there. He puts everything on the field every night. And, Heisman candidate.
I was going to say, that was my next point.
Starting to jump in there.
And that run is something people will go back to.
Oh, definitely.
An ultimate Houdini Hendon moment there. And, just talking about this program win as a whole, the next point I was going to get to, Checkered Neyland Stadium, sold out. We had college game day here this morning. The spectacle of that being here, the eyes were fixated on Knoxville this weekend for Tennessee, Florida. Number 11 Tennessee hosting number 20 Florida, and the Vols got it done.
Yeah, and this game is something that Tennessee hasn't won in the past.
Exactly.
The big games, the games where all eyes are on you. Tennessee has dropped this game in the past. To come in here and even to not play as clean as they did. I mean, they had to fumble the red zone early. They were held to a field goal early. Florida.
Poor fourth down defense.
I mean,
4 or 5.
I
think it was 4 or 5.
4 or 5 on fourth down.
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson threw 453 yards through the air. His career high before that, 168.
Yeah, he shattered it.
I mean,
almost 300 yards.
Went off, and yet you come out with the win. You come out with a top 25 win over your rival on the big stage. I mean, that's exactly what Tennessee has been missing over these past decade. I mean, we haven't seen this since maybe 2016, back the last time Tennessee beat Florida, and last time College Game Day was in town. That's really the last time you saw this. This team is on a whole nother level
than the 2016 team.
I think so. I think they have the capability to be. I mean, obviously, not having Cedric there, really hurts. I don't think it really mattered. Brew McCoy, Jalen Hyatt, Ramel Keaton. They got it done.
In my opinion, Brew McCoy is not as good as Cedric Tillman, but he has the capability to be a wide receiver 1 in the SEC.
Oh, yeah.
And Jalen Hyatt is so explosive. And Ramel Keaton showed us tonight that he can play with the big dogs.
Yeah,
making plays like that against Florida. And you talk about Florida coming in here, it almost feels like Tennessee took their, biggest chomp, if you will, of a game with Anthony Richardson shattering his career highs. Ventrell Miller was healthy and made an impact tonight.
That's right.
Florida's best defensive player. But Tennessee, just way more talented, the much better football team.
Yeah, and that's what I was getting at on why I think this team is a little more special than that 2016 team, which had some pretty big names
that are in the NFL
that
now,
are in the NFL and contributing in the NFL. But
exactly,
the reason this team is special, they make they have made those mistakes, and you know what they do? They don't care. They fight through it. They keep playing. They keep winning. 4-0 on the season. I mean, we haven't seen this from a Tennessee team in a long time.
Yeah, and they went 4-0 in 2016, but the way they've gone 4-0, absolutely demolishing Ball State and Akron, and then 2 top 20 wins. So,
which they looked really good in, and they fought through despite the mistakes.
And I think they learned a lot in the pit game.
Oh,
because they looked like a much better football team here tonight.
Definitely. And they got off a little slow, which they have all season. First time in the Josh Heupel era, they haven't scored a touchdown in the first quarter. Didn't matter. Because you know what? That offense kept chugging. They kept, they mentioned it, or Josh Heupel mentioned it in the post game, is that this offense feeds off Hendon Hooker, and you saw it tonight. I mean, they don't win without Hendon Hooker on the field. I mean, you could put anyone out there. Hendon Hooker is the reason this team is going right now, the reason they're 4-0, and the reason that they're going to keep succeeding throughout the year.
Absolutely. And you remember, you mentioned them going, touchdownless in the first quarter, but I felt like Tennessee was just a play away from making a touchdown.
Oh, I mean, like
they
I said,
seemed so explosive.
Their first drive drove down the field,
Princeton fan
and
fumble.
The fumble. But I mean, that hurts you. Then the next time they drive down the field, get stopped, have to kick the field goal. They were just one play away, one non-mistake away from having that big score and going up 14-0 really early, because the defense got those stops.
Right. Yeah.
When Florida was driving.
And something we've seen from the Tennessee defense is that bend don't break style. And that 70-yard Brew McCoy catch and run really changed the tide of Tennessee's offensive night here tonight. And speaking of the night here tonight, it was an electric environment. Like I said, in the sold-out Neyland Stadium, it's checkered 101,915 in here tonight to watch the Vols defeat the Gators. Josh Heupel said the Vol Walk was unlike anything he'd ever seen. But he said that last week about Akron, so I can only imagine how big it was today.
I mean, you could just look out, up from the press box. You could just look out over Peyton Manning Drive and just see how many people were there. I mean, we were at College Game Day this morning.
Yes.
That was packed. I don't think I've ever seen that many people on the Ayers Hall lawn in my life.
I can attest. I know some individuals who slept on the Ayers Hall lawn last night. And that is just dedication from the Tennessee fan base. And the reason they're so dedicated, the reason they're showing out like this, is because the product is amazing.
I mean, Josh Heupel, coaches at Tennessee are judged on what they do against the big three. That big three, Florida, Georgia, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Heupel's got his Florida. We haven't seen that since Butch Jones. I mean, could the tide be changing for the Vols? Possibly.
All right, everybody, that'll do it for WTK's Fresh Off the Field. For Joseph Bonanno, I'm Jack Foster. Thanks for watching. We'll be back with you guys in 2 weeks. Well, in Neyland Stadium in 3 weeks when the Tide come to town. But in 2 weeks, the Vols will head down to Death Valley and take on LSU. WTK will still have you covered then, so stay tuned.